good. And hello and welcome inside of Cal Tire Place North here in Vernon. Trevor Miller here with you as we get set for the afternoon wave here at the UMH-68 Invitational here in BC. And it is the semifinals here from Vernon as we've got Team Red taking on Team Gray, the first of our two semifinals here on this Saturday. These two teams looking for a spot to play in the final coming up tomorrow. Happy to have you here with us on YouTube. Again, make sure to like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing and hearing throughout the course of the weekend and throughout the course of the tournament as we get set for action here between these two sides. And what should be a good semifinal and taking place here in Vernon today as it's Team Gray who comes in undefeated. They have yet to lose a game and did so in very dramatic fashion earlier this morning. They played our opening game against Team Blue earlier today. They were down 1.5-0. They were down 7-3 going into the third period, and they came back to win. 10-8 the final earlier today. So Team Gray 3-0 with 10-8 win, the 9-4 win over Team Black. They opened their tournament up with a 7-6 win over Team Red. For Red, it's been tough. They've lost all three games they've played so far throughout the course of this tournament, but they've been tight games. With respect to the last one they played, 2 one-goal losses, a 7-6 loss to Gray, 4-3 loss to Team Blue, and then falling 8-4 earlier today to Team Black. So they look to try and get their first win of the weekend in what would be the most important time if they can try to make their way to the final coming up tomorrow. Again, the final tomorrow for the team that does make it there would be at 11 a.m. 8:30 would be the time for the bronze medal game. That would be coming up tomorrow as well as we get you set for action here from Vernon, and happy to do so here as we get set up for the semi-finals and semi-final Saturday here from Cal Tire Place North. And happy to have you join us here on this Saturday. Looking forward to what should be a good couple of games of hockey here between. Later on today, it will be black and blue. So a rematch of our day one games, which is always interesting because it's great to see the fact that these two teams get to see each other again and played very competitive games the last time they saw each other, so we'll see what happens here in this one. Team Gray has scored a lot so far in this tournament. In fact, they've scored to a tune of 26 goals in just 3 games, or in just 3 games. We'll see if that continues on as this tournament does. To our broadcast right, Team Gray alternating the goaltenders, so they will continue to go with Ethan Pinch, who makes his second start. Swapping the rotation a bit is Team Red and Tyler Shattuck. It'll be Jaden Avery that gets the starting goal. Avery finished off the last game that happened just a few hours ago. They've gone with a rotation for the most part throughout the course of the weekend. We'll see if they decide to do that and bring in their other goaltender as well in Bryce Roche. We're underway here from Vernon in the first of 2 semifinals on this Saturday here from Cal Tire Place North. And it's Team Gray that will start their way out from their own zone. A lead feed that Aiden Ponak knocked down as Potash was able to get in front of that shot and work back down to the right wing side and play back out through to center as it's taken along here by Team Red as they'll work in. And they're working toward the front of the goal is Casey Minabariat. Minabariat centering back down low, and that one forced away. One thing we know about Team Gray is if they get behind, don't count them out. Again, earlier today, that miraculous comeback they had against Team Black, or against Team Blue, I should say, and we'll look to try and keep that momentum going. Chipped in deep from center. That off the stick of Maddox Neal, and back four now on the left wing side. Team Gray will make their way ahead. Here's Reese Parker back and across the line. Parker drifting to his right circle, sends it back in front. Came off a stick, back to the line, holding and shooting. That was blocked before it could get to the front of the net, as that was Cale Vondensteinen who was able to block that shot down, and the puck comes loose back down below the goal line where Gray will recover and start their way out. Long stretch pass ahead. Harry Sharman now makes his way up ice. Sharman down the right side, drops it off right circle, and a shot wide of the net of Avery on the opportunity that came from the right wing there for Gray. Puck thrown along the boards and back out through to center. Taken on there by Sharman and pushed across right side Parker to the middle and tipped on and played back in there by Hodgson. Off the boards to the right side and deflected back in deep. That by Trent Keenan down inside of Team Gray territory. Parker will whip it back around along the boards on the left wing side. Held on for a long try from the line. That was knocked down as that long shot came from the left wing by Ewan Camo. Puck comes along left wing side. Sharman delays and gets that out to center. Forced back ahead on the left wing side. Laid back in deep inside of Team Gray territory. Around the boards on the right wing, that puck will come back out to center. And banked ahead there by Team Red to neutral ice. And now Evan Sumnar in with a shot and a glove save by Peach. And Pinch able to make that glove stop and get a face-off that will come to his broadcast, to his left. Teams going for Team Gray from right to left in this opening period. Left to right will go Team Red. 17:43 to go, opening frame. Still searching for our first goal scorer of this contest. Face-off comes to the glove side. Off the draw, Granger, left wing, feed to the front of the net, stop, rebound, scores! And Team Red opens the scoring on this one as it's Ryzen Birch that makes it a 1-0 game. Opportunity in front, and it's Birch who has his first goal of the weekend, who finishes off on the blocker side of Peach. And Team Red has opened the scoring in this one and take a 1-0 advantage. Just under 2.5 into play here in this opening frame. Team Red with the opening goal. And like we talked about, Team Gray didn't need much to get from behind earlier today, and we'll see what they can do. Here's that puck flipped out towards center, and now played back here inside of Team Gray territory, all the way back down inside the line. That will go for an icing against Team Red, and a face-off that'll come all the way back inside of Team Red territory with 17:17 to go here in this opening period. Draw that will come to the glove side of the Team Red goal. 17:16 remaining here in this opening frame, and a face-off that'll take place back inside of Team Red territory to the glove side of Avery. And Team Red into it here. They want to try and find their way to a finals berth, and that puck goes right toward the front of the goal. Avery steered it away, still loose there in front of the net, and cleared away to the right wing corner and back up the boards on the left wing side. Now it's pushed back ahead through center, lofted back out to neutral ice. Onto it there, a quick shot by Cohen Short. That's swallowed up and pushed to the side on the right wing there, off the goaltender in the way of Ethan Pinch. Back ahead through center now. In comes McCrimmon with a shot. That one's steered away. McCrimmon back forward in the left wing corner. Wheels it around on the left wing side. Red to the line. They can't clear. Puck pushed along now and thrown back in to the right wing and back out through to the line and out to center. And that's knocked away and now carried ahead. Here's Red working in. Left wing circle to the net. Stop. Rebound just flew wide. That was Cohen Short that had an opportunity to try and punch it in, but just had it filter wide of the net. Brought back in by Team Gray. Into the right wing corner now. It's Kim. Tied up there in the right wing corner. He's been terrific all weekend long as Theodore Kim. Well, that's punched away and thrown back up the boards on the right wing side and out to center here as that will be deflected back in through neutral ice. That by Minabari. Brought ahead by Parker out through center. Parker ranging back in down the right wing side, centering a pass right in front. Couldn't find anybody in Gray in the middle of the ice and pushed back out through the neutral ice now, where it's taken here by Team Gray back inside of their own end. Turning back is Parker once more. Wheels it back up the boards on the right side and back down inside of Team Red territory, where it's taken on by Jaden Avery. He'll cover it up with just under 4.5 gone here in this opening period, and a 1-0 game in favor of Team Red so far here in this hockey game. Draw that'll come to the glove side of the goal of Jaden Avery. Off the face-off now, collected up here, and that is pushed back down low from Von Steinen and brought back the other way. Here's that's played back ahead and bouncing puck through to neutral ice and gathered up now by Keenan. He lost the feet on that. Brought the other way. Here's Parker making a move into the goal line. He scores! Reese Parker with a gorgeous goal down the right side, getting around the defenders and putting it up and over the shoulders of Jaden Avery. And the defender finds the back of the net and has tied this game up. It's 1-1. So Reese Parker gets Team Gray on the board and ties the game. Just under 5 minutes into this opening period, already a 1-1 score. Loose puck given up. Here's a chance. Sumner in with a shot and a left pad saved by Pinch. Comes back around and out through center. Bouncing puck down, collected up here by Jake Black as they'll work it ahead and dumped in deep from the left wing side by Asul Yankovic. Red back onto it here deep inside of their own zone. Off the boards, out to the red line. Held on there just inside the blue line by Black. Punched ahead there by Gray and chipped up the wall before that puck is settled along the left wing side. Now thrown back down below the goal line here where it's taken on to now by Team Red. Trying to get the handle on that now as this puck is laid back around on the right side. Up with that is Gray. Flung along left wing side. Going in after it here is Tidsbury on the left wing side. Puck is battled for here along the wall. Now thrown toward the front of the net. That's off a backhand and lifted off the glass back out through to center. Back along the line. Held on here by Team Gray as they work in. Here's McGee to the backhand trying to work to the net. And the backhand try swallowed up and held by Avery with 13:57 to go here in the opening frame. Another faceoff that will come back inside of Team Red territory. Faceoff comes to the glove hand side of Avery. Off the face-off now, it's gathered up here down below the goal line by Kim. Tried to center right circle, quick shot off the post. A great shot on the right side by McCrimmon, but just can't find its way. And now the long try, and Team Gray able to jump ahead. The McCrimmon shot wired off the crossbar, but a long shot from the line by Carson Wright has eyes for the back of the net. 2-1 Gray. Carson Wright outstanding to get that puck through traffic. Elevates his way up and over the glove side shoulder. And the goal there for Team Gray, able to make it a 2-1 Gray lead. And now they're back again. Racing after it here is Carpenter down in the right corner. Hayden Carpenter, centered back up right point. Comes across the left wing side. Right delays. Forced it back along left wing circle. And now pushed down to the goal line, a centering feed right in front, bounces away from the front of the goal, and pushed back ahead now by Team Red as they'll make their way back ahead through center. Laid back in deep below the goal line. Back up to the right wing point now, Potash across left wing side. Gonna hold that in as Frank. That will come back out through to neutral territory, and Team Gray will try and advance their way ahead. That's dumped in from the neutral zone there by Gray. Frank back behind the goal for it now, just over 7 minutes gone here in this opening period. Brought ahead through center. Gray able to take that away and neutralizes. Dice Roth able to get that puck free as he works down the right side. Dice Roth down below the goal line, try to center it back out in front, turning and firing that on stop. Rebound, another try denied. Dice Roth and Harry Sharman coming together for some strong play. Back in on the right wing side now. Here comes Team Red working in, and that try from Keenan from the right wing was just forced away from the front of the goal. Bouncing puck now will be forced back out to inside the blue line. High slot, shot by Short. Didn't miss by much on the blocker side. Went back out through to center and inside of Team Red territory. 8 minutes gone here in this opening period. 2-1 the score in favor of Team Grey. Not going to gain as that puck is poked along right side. Now Sutherland drops this back around the boards. Team Red back onto it now as they'll turn and try to lay it back down low. Intercepted here as Gray will advance ahead. Across the line as Parker drops it off right wing side. Here's Sharman down low. Parker up the right side. Try to feed that back in front. Loose puck side of the goal. Gathered up by Team Grey as they'll work back to the blue line. Parker across on the right wing. Thrown to the net. That one just went wide of the goal. As that was Von Steinen who just couldn't feed it on. Nice job by Von Steinen to get in the middle of that play as that an attempt to go to the middle of the ice there, and now back in the right wing corner. Here's Keenan back behind the net, wraps it around. That one couldn't be tucked away on the blocker side, and Grey will come back the other way and force their way out to center. Down the left wing now. Here's Tidsbury working in left wing circle. A run into his Thorpe. Threw a good check into him and a shoulder into the left wing side. Around the boards, that will travel as that puck back out to the blue line, thrown on a save. A rebound, turning and firing is Sharman, and a blocker save made by Avery. Puck down below the goal line here in a battle for behind the net. Coming out with that and lifting a backhander up in the hole of the goal is Sharman. Puck forced along back to the left side and now played back along the boards. Battle for it here as that puck is worked back into the middle of the ice. Here's Tidsbury trying to find a way to get the puck back in front. And a no-look backhand pass that could not be completed. Worked back on the right wing side. Now thrown toward the front of the goal. That one steered away. And up with that is Camo, who will work it back out to center. Worked ahead now by Sumner. Sumner on the right wing side, driving his way in back behind the goal. Sumner tried to play it back ahead on the right side before that was blocked off. Puck sent back out through to center and now taken over in neutral territory here by Black. Black tried to get the puck there as it's worked back down below the goal line. Thrown back into the middle of the ice and an opportunity toward the net as that was Vasil Yankovic that put that one on and just had that one go off the blocker of Avery. Puck side of the net being battled for here. Under 10 to go here in the opening period. Laid ahead on the left wing side, and that pass McGee out to center. Sumner at the end of his shift works his way in, cuts to the middle. Sumner to the left wing side, makes his way to the goal, and right in on pinch. He was able to make that save and hang on. Face-off will come back inside of Team Grey territory. 9:24 to go here in this opening period. 2-1 the score in favor of Team Grey. Face-off that's going to come back to the glove side of the goal of Pinch off the draw. Now it's right. Goes it back in front, and that one knocked away from the Team Grey net as they'll advance back out through to center. Here's Carpenter trying to delay his way in. Loose puck just inside the line, being jousted for here, and turning back the other way here is Short. Short tried to feed that ahead and couldn't connect with his intended target there. And Nate Steele is back for it here inside of his own end is Team Grey. Out through center now, Grey will advance. Here's Nathan Johnson working his way in. Johnson to the right wing corner. Ups that back down low. Below the goal line now, a scrum for it. Here's the puck lifted up off the boards and thrown toward the front of the net. That one went just wide. Back around the boards on the right wing side. Out through to center now. Team Red will work in. Worked down the right wing here by Short to the front of the net. Off the right pad of Pinch. The right idea there by Cohen Short to create a rebound in front, but brought the other way here by Grey. It's Kim dancing in, right circle, centering a pass that came right out in front. Knocked away and now carried the other way. Out to center comes Team Red. Forced back in by Short, drops it off. Steele with a shot that was steered away. Rebound played back ahead to center. Poked ahead now as Grey will advance in. And trying to make their way in on the right wing half board. Push to the middle, and Kim's pass can't find Von Steinen, and back the other way, Red trying to get ahead. Bouncing puck now will come loose to the left wing side and reverse back around the boards on the right wing. Getting to that now is Diceroth, who will make his way out to center. Diceroth trying to advance that ahead. Gray back onto it now as they'll work in. Right wing corner thrown to the front of the net. That was steered away and back the other way, and working out from his own end now will come Team Red, but that puck held up there in the neutral zone. Now Keenan will start ahead. Keenan makes his way in. He was hauled down there. Gray will try and work their way back out to center, and quickly played back in by Granger. Injured down low below the goal line now is Parker, and Parker will get that pass ahead for Sharman. Harry Sharman, 4 goals yesterday, has been held off the score sheet so far today, despite his team scoring 10 times earlier today and already twice here in this one. Sharman will collect, but he brought that back in offside. 7:02 to go here in the opening period. Face-off that will come back just outside of the Team Red zone. Face-off win for Red as they'll go back onto it here inside of their own end. Banked ahead on the right wing side, all the way down inside of Team Gray territory. They'll float back on the goaltender in a face-off that'll come back inside of Team Gray territory. Draw to the left side of the goal of the Team Gray net. Wrapped around the boards on the right wing side now as Gray will try and advance their way out of their own end and carry it out ahead through center here. It's Tidsbury walking back into the right wing circle, down to the goal line, trying to brush it into the side of the net. Loose puck there, and referee yelling at the players to leave that. As swallowing up on it is Avery. He'll hang on. 6:29 to go here in this opening period. And a 2-1 game remains in favor of Team Gray. Sure, stick around with us in our second intermission today. We'll hear from Trevor McKechnie. We'll have him up here for an interview. He's the owner of Iron Ghost Construction. Heard their name a lot over the course of the weekend. They're a main sponsor for this tournament, a company that's been around with this tournament for the last several years. And we'll have Trevor on to talk about Iron Ghost, talk about this tournament and much more in our second intermission. Puck forced ahead at center. Loose puck there is gathered up by Red, and just trying to make a pass, but a good play there. That was Rasul Vanek who was able to get back onto that and make that play. Here comes Tidsbury working in the right side. Lost the handle on that. Now left wing circle. Black takes the shot that's knocked down and stopped by Avery. And he'll hang on and get a face-off back inside of his own end. 5:50 to go here in the first. 2-1 remains the score in favor of Team Gray in this game. Draw to the blocker side. They'll have to do over again after that try was not done legally. So another face-off that will come to the right of the goal of the Team Red net. Off the face-off, that puck is squirted back ahead on the left side and out to center. Now Team Red will advance their way in. Carried down the left wing, a quick shot, and that was Mara Barriott that had that opportunity down the right wing side, and a good save by Pinch once more to get a face-off that will come back inside of the Team Gray end of the ice. Face-off that'll come to the blocker side of the goal of Pinch now. 5:38 to go opening period. 2-1 the score remains in favor of Team Gray in this game. Bouncing puck on the left wing side and played back out through to center by Team Gray as they'll work back in on the right wing. Now here's Kim, sharp angle. Tried to throw that one on, went off a stick and ramped up into the corner. Back ahead with that, and just unable to get by his check there was Mara Barriott. Comes loose back along the right wing side, now thrown toward the front of the goal, and a big hit on the end boards there, as that was Nate Steele plastering his man on the end wall. Right back behind the goal. Collected there by Gray, and they'll force it back to the line, but not out. Held on side by Red as they'll throw it toward the front of the net. Under 5 to go here in this opening period, and a 2-1 Gray lead. Sent ahead, here's Carpenter. Works it across right side. Nice move by Kim. Tried to cut back to the middle of the ice. That was broken up. Short now trying to find the handle on the left wing side. Flips it back off the glass and worked that back out to neutral territory. Given up and almost a chance if they race onto it and hurry, and an opportunity there to the front of the goal by Keenan. Couldn't quite tuck that one home. Wright made a good play defensively to poke that puck free. Puck sent back inside of Team Red territory. They'll work onto it back inside of their own end. Stretched ahead on the right side and flip back in by Red around the boards. That puck will go and into the right wing half board there, where it's taken along by Team Red as they'll get ahead through to center. Loose puck in neutral ice now will be pushed across on the right wing and now into the high slot. Working in with that is Neal. Just lost the handle on it before it's taken back the other way by Gray. Could be a odd man rush working in. Here's Sharman. Lost control of that one in the left wing half. We're going to back again and threw it toward the front of the net. And that was Diceroth that just misfired. Puck loose below the goal line now as Red will try and get onto the puck and flips it out ahead through the center all the way down inside of Gray territory. That puck's just going to look like it was going to die, and it does for no icing. Gray back onto it with 3.5 to go here in period number 1. Punched ahead. Here's Granger back for it. Granger across in the left wing. Flip back up the boards and held on side here. Team Red back onto it. Puck into skates and now pushed back out to center and work back inside of Team Gray territory. Puck laid ahead and now played back out through the middle of the ice and brought back in on the right wing side. Here comes Gray. Nice move working to the outside. Hodgson to the net and steered away by the left pad of the goaltender. That in the way of Avery. Sent back ahead on the left side by Sumner. Back into Team Gray territory now. Forced back around the boards. Off the stick of Parker back out to neutral ice. Team Red back onto it here as they'll drop it back inside of their own zone. Turn it back onto that and trying to work ahead with that is Red. Puck bounced ahead on the right wing now for Sumner. Sumner out to center and played back out through to neutral territory, where it's taken over here by Team Gray, and they'll float it back inside of the offensive zone. Up the wall on the right side. Held on there by Parker, but puck just came loose just inside the blue line, and back along with it is Gray now, cutting to the high slot. Quick shot by Tidsbury is handled and held by Avery with 2:10 to go in the opening period. 2-1 the score in favor of Team Gray as we move along here in this opening period. A reminder that BioSteel is a platinum partner of UMH-68 BC Invitational. Make sure to check out their new 24-pack at Costco that features 3 different flavors and keeps you hydrated all summer long. And BioSteel keeping these players hydrated all tournament long here this weekend. Brought ahead on the right side, now put to the middle of the ice, and that backhand pass just worked away from the front of the goal. Steele got it back again to the middle, trying to drag that puck in front, and a good look there as Minibari had that opportunity, and we got a penalty coming up here behind the play, and it's going to be an interference call that's going to come against Team Gray, and it's a power play opportunity that's going to come up for Red. It's Kai Rasul Yankovic who's going to go off for the penalty. And a power play opportunity coming up here for Team Red. It's their first of the game. First power play for either side so far here today. Face-off that'll come to the blocker side of Pinch. Off the draw now, it's controlled on the right side by Potash. Fed across left wing, back along to the left wing point. Now up with that is Frank. Pushed back down to the middle. Here's Potash, right circle, short off the post. Trying to go short side and rang the post on that attempt. Puck will work along the boards in the left wing and Battle for it here as Short gets it back again. Short centering on the left side. Team Red back onto the puck now as they'll flip it back along the boards and work back down low. Battle for it here on the left wing side and work back ahead out by Red. Up with that on the right wing half board and push back up by Minibariat. Now for Potash on the right side, now back across here. Short to the net. A save by Pinch. Rebound into the corner in the final minute here of period 1. Potash tried to leave it along to the left side. It was cut off and Carpenter will sling it back in deep. 1 minute remains in the power play, so a 15-second difference between the game clock and the penalty clock. Brought back ahead by Potash. 40 seconds to go in the period. Potash in with a shot that went off a stick and wide. Back to the line now, Potash across left wing side. Pass that was broken up and now Thorpe. Lost the handle on that on the left wing and now it's pushed back out towards center as that was Rezitnik that couldn't handle it at the left point. 15 seconds to go in the period. Puck bounced up the right wing side. And a race after it, there is Thorpe. Picked up on the right side now as it's Neal trying to make a move to the front of the net. 5 seconds to go in the frame. Around to the right wing corner. Now up in the half board. Thrown to the net by Thorpe and into a body as that puck will be deadened and sound the buzzer on period number 1. And just the 3 goals to speak of. It was Team Red that opened the scoring on this game, but it was Team Grey that comes back and finds themselves out to a lead after 1 period. As we take a look at how we got there after 1 frame, and it was Ryzen Birch that opened the scoring in this hockey game for Team Red to put Red ahead by a 1-0 score before Reese Parker was able to get Team Grey on the board, make it a 1-1 game, and then Carson Wright able to give Grey their first lead of the hockey game. Shots are 15-12 in favor of Team Grey, so good period for both goaltenders. Ethan Pinch turning aside 11 of the 12 shots he faced. Jaden Avery, 13 of the 15 thrown his way. So a big period and a good opening period for either of these sides as we take a look at who got us here. Award that is Brown Social House 3-star award brought to you by Nick Roughton with Coldwell Banker Executives Realty, but Player Nutrition provided by Nature's Fair Markets, the hydration, and one of the main sponsors of this event is BioSteel. Also Iron Coast Construction, a platinum sponsor. Again, we'll hear from Trevor McKechnie coming up here in our second intermission. Elite Prospects, Up My Hockey, the Up My Hockey podcast are gold sponsors, and also A-Cane Hockey if we're coming on as well. 2-1 the score. Team Grey in front of Team Red after 20 minutes. Back after this for period 2 right here from Vernon at the UMH-68.
Lock here today for Team Grey. How about a little introduction and a little bit of background there?
Name's Locke Muller, like you already mentioned, from Northern Alberta originally. Played 4 years in junior hockey. 2 years of collegiate hockey, and then got into coaching at the age of 24. I've been working in the academy setting for the last 8-9 years, everywhere from our U18 to our U15 varsity team.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of experience, and obviously that's why Jason's got you here at UMH-68. How did you come to know Jason? How long have you been coaching here at the UMH-68?
This is my 2nd year. Obviously, really happy to be back. Last year I was really impressed with kind of the camp Jason puts on. You know, the workshops are awesome. There's a lot of information for the kids to take away from it. I don't know how high on his list I was last year, but I got to know Jason, just a local guy who's really involved with minor hockey. And then we've had 2 of his sons come through the program, so built a relationship there. And then obviously got asked, jumped at the opportunity to come back this year.
I'd like to get your point of view on what you think about this tournament, because one of the main things I know Jason focuses on for the kids is the professionalism of the event. So what makes this tournament, this showcase, particularly different than any other tournament that you've been to?
I think the quality of coaching. You know, you got Chris Osgood, 3-time Stanley Cup winner. You got Dean McCammon, almost 1,000 games in the NHL. And I really think, you know, the quality of play. Jason does his diligence to find identified players to invite. So the level of play is always high. There's always lots of skill. And then the workshops, as far as information for the kids, I just think that's very beneficial, and I wish I had something like this at their age. Just information to take away and try and better myself as a player.
Some of the kids coming, they might not know the actual benefits of this tournament. They might just kind of say, hey, you know what, this is a great tournament, and they're already experiencing such a high level of expertise and instruction. What would you want these kids to know about this particular tournament? What do you want them to take away from this tournament?
I think the level of play, it's, for a quote-unquote spring tournament, it's quite high. You're getting some of the best kids within your age group from around the province. And like I already mentioned, really those workshops and the information that's available to the kids, you look at the provincial programs, they don't offer that. So I just think the amount of knowledge the kids can walk away with it, or from it, I just think is huge for them in their young careers.
Yeah, amazing. What is it for you personally that you love about coaching?
Relationships. I've always been a relationship-based person. That's kind of what the business is. The X's and O's. Most coaches know what they're talking about, but I really love the kids. I love building the relationships with the families, and then really just the growth of the kids that you see. Especially in the academy, because you get kids for 2-3 years. You really see them become young men or young women. So it's really the relationships and watching the kids grow. More importantly, off the ice, but then you just see the exponential growth on the ice as well with the work that's put into it.
Obviously, you have a lot of experience teaching kids how to play athletically and physically, how to play the game from a skill level, but I'm sure you also coach them on a mindset level as well. What are some of the things that you impart upon these kids, like about mentality, about mindset, about the way to think about themselves as an athlete?
Why I like this age group, and Jason mentioned this in his opening meeting with all the parents, it has to become a lifestyle, in the way they sleep, the way they dress, the way they eat, really the way they approach the game, like it becomes a lifestyle for these kids, where it used to be 8 months a year, 4 months you're not playing, but now it really is a 12-month a year, with some breaks in between. So for me, it's just developing that pro mindset of this is a lifestyle, and every decision you make has to be geared towards your goals as a hockey player.
If I'm a parent walking, down the street coming to the rink, and I see a bunch of kids, would I be able to identify these kids who have adopted this professional lifestyle as an athlete? What would I see?
For me, it's just the way they carry themselves. For me as a coach, the best compliments I get are from waiting staff, bus drivers, rink staff, hotel staff. Just the way they carry themselves, how polite they are. Really how grateful they are for the opportunity. I think that kind of sets them apart, in my opinion.
It's the end of the tournament, and a few of the kids are coming out of the locker room, and they're leaving with a few statements. They're saying, oh, this tournament was, or I learned. What would you want them to say?
Honestly, probably, we had a banquet with the kids on Thursday night, and the messaging from Dean, Chris, and myself was all about character, being a good human first and foremost. So I'd like them to walk away with that understanding of how to carry yourself around a rink, how the dressing room needs to look, and then really eye-opening to how many good players there are. And this is just a small camp here in Vernon, BC. There's thousands of players across Canada, US, Sweden, you name it. So really an understanding of what it takes and the character you need to get to the next level.
Amazing. And last question for you. If you had your version of your 14-year-old self right in front of you right now, and now with all your expertise, your knowledge, your experience, what would you tell your 14-year-old as advice?
You got to get better every day, right? And I already mentioned it earlier, just that lifestyle. When I was 14, I was maybe chasing the wrong things at times, and the focus maybe wasn't there. Really it being a lifestyle, diet, sleep, everything I've already mentioned. And then just the extra work you have to put in to get to the next level. If I could find my 14-year-old self or go back in time, that's kind of what I would say.
Locke, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
welcome you back. Maybe not. And we welcome you back inside of Cal Tire Place North here in Vernon. Trevor Miller here with you on the UMH-68 YouTube as we've got second period action upcoming between Team Red and Team Gray, looking to try and get themselves into the UMH-68 BC final coming up tomorrow, as they look to try and do so and get themselves into that final tomorrow. 2-1, Team Gray the lead after one period of play, as the two teams coming back out for period number 2. Good first period. I thought that Team Red came out early. They were able to get themselves out with a goal early, but then obviously as the period went along, Team Gray continued to do what they have done throughout the course of this tournament, and they have done an excellent job at getting ahead, and that's something that they did in that game as well. So they'll look to try and do so here in game number 2 in this game in the second period as well. Look to try and keep it going. Team Gray had themselves a very strong opening period. They have been offensive juggernauts throughout the course of this tournament. We'll see if they can keep that going. Team Red, 14 seconds of power play time to begin period number 2. As we get set for the second frame, and we're underway here in the middle stanza of this hockey game, as it's brought ahead now by Team Red out at center, and they'll work their way back in, working around on the right wing side and putting it back to the line as Minneberry now comes back around and pushed along to the right wing circle here as it's taken along by Team Red. Back to 5-on-5 now as that puck's put to the net and in. And Team Red at the end of the power play are able to tie it just 22 seconds into the second period. And it's going to come off the stick of Nate Steele in front and squibble its way past the glove side of Ethan Pinch to tie the game at 2. So a goal there for Team Red to get themselves back in this game and tie things up at 2. As that puck just brushes off of the forward in front. And a terrific job there to make this a 2-2 game as it's brought back out now toward the side of the goal. That one punched away and from off the end boards. Now that will come back out to the right circle and put to the net, and that's steered away and held by Jaden Avery. So it's Nate Steele that's got this game back on even terms. 2-2 is our score right now in this game, and a faceoff that's going to come back to the glove side of the goal of Jaden Avery once again. So a face-off to come back to the glove side of the net. Off this draw, this puck forced away and back out through to center now. That puck bounced out where it's Parker that will take over. Here's Parker back with it. So he tries to advance his way back in now as that puck will come loose and played back ahead on the right wing side. As that puck laid back along the boards on the right wing and gathered up now by Team Red as they try to make their way out with it. But turn back, here's the chance for Hodgson down low. Just lost the handle on that one as it's laid back ahead out through center. Thorpe on the right wing tries to get possession just inside the line, but offside is Team Red. Face-off that will come back inside of neutral territory. 18:37 to go here in the second period. 2-2 the score here in this one. So Team Red, give them credit. Again, they're a team that hasn't played poorly. They just haven't been able to win games. They've lost their first 3 games, but they've also lost 2 of them by just 1 goal. So have an opportunity now to try and get themselves back into a place where all you need really is 1 win. You get 1 win on the weekend and you find yourself into the final. Puck sent ahead through center. Now work back along the left wing side. Here's the wall, right wing side. Jake Black holding, shooting off the crossbar as that puck came off the bar, off to the blocker side of the goaltender in the way of Jaden Avery. back along the boards on the left wing side. A battle for it here is 18-12 to go here in this second period. Forced back ahead out through center. Now Red will make their advance back out through the neutral zone. Work back along the right wing side and now played back along into the left wing corner. And the puck will be battled for here below the goal line. As up with that is McGee turning back off a check. As McGee will force that back out to the neutral zone and laid back in at center. As that came off the stick of Camo as they lay it back in deep. Down below the goal line. Vasiljankovic tried to work that out. Gets it back again. Vasiljankovic around the boards and past the intended target on the left wing side before the puck comes all the way back down inside of Team Red territory. Back up the boards on the right wing and now out at center. Laid back in there by Team Gray. Advanced back in and trying to work that puck toward the middle of the ice now as it's taken over here and played back into the corner. And the handle on that, and it is Team Gray that will make their way out from their own end. Sent back ahead through to center. Forced back and across the line. Big collision there as that puck will come loose and now played here by Team Red as they'll make their way out and find their way to neutral territory as they guide their way back inside of the offensive zone. But that puck will come back at center. A big hit there as Frank able to knock down the Crimin on a good check. Puck comes loose left wing side. Potash walks in, backhand feed back in front. Unable to connect on that one as that puck will come loose right to the side of the goal. Wrap back around the left wing side. Gray back onto it here as they'll delay and work this puck back up the boards and out through to center now as that's taken on by Kim. Right wing feed, cut to the middle. Dice-Roth tried to work his way in as that was knocked down and brought back the other way by Steele. Now for Minneberry, it walks in left wing side with a quick shot that rifled wide. Back out at center. Long stretch pass taken there is on the left wing now is Rezitnik who drops it back off. Short drop pass, left wing feed, Steele delays back behind the net, still with it now as he tried to center that puck back in front. And it's forced away and out through to center, all the way down inside of Team Red territory. That will go for an icing and a face-off that will come back in Team Gray territory now with 15:54 to go in the second period. 2-2 our score in this one. Draw to come to the left of the goal. Off this face-off now, it's scrambled here in the circle and taken on by Gray as they try to lift that puck back out. Held on side and now work back along the boards in the left wing and taken on here by Gray as they'll send it ahead for Dice-Roth. Dice-Roth now will work his way in. Long shot, that one filtered just wide. Sends back around the boards on the right wing and back out through to center now. It's pushed back out and played here by Team Gray back inside of their own zone. A stretch pass there was knocked down as that puck will come loose back inside of neutral territory. Played ahead on the left wing side by Gray and a shot toward the front of the net. Avery's able to swallow that up and hang on for a face-off with 15:13 to go here in this second period. So a draw that will come back inside of Team Red territory. A face-off that will come to the blocker's side of the Team Red goal. This puck battled for there on the left wing side, now pushed down below the goal line, centered back in front, and that one popped on to the right side where it's pushed back to the blue line and a long try bounced wide to the right circle. Taken along down below the goal line now as it's put back across in the left wing corner and back up the boards, held on side, a long shot put toward the front of the net, knocked down by Avery. Rebound put back behind the goal and now played back along the wall on the end boards, picked up here by Team Red as they'll advance their way back out. Red forced it back out to the neutral zone and now back inside of Team Gray territory, back out to center. Down below the goal line is Gray. They're trying to force their way back out of it here as they'll work back behind the net. Wrap back around the boards on the left wing side and out through to center. Team Red will put that out where it's taken on and Von den Steinen now will work it in deep. Down below the goal line here. Taken along by Camo, back up the boards on the right side, held on Parker, a long shot, punched away from the front of the goal. Puck comes back around on the right side, now Sumner will take back over. 6 minutes gone here in the period. Sumner able to work in, nicely held on side there by De Silva, almost had to do the splits to hang on to that line, but taken back the other way, down the right side. Here's Tidsbury, tried to advance his way into the middle before it was broken up. Drop back ahead on the right side by Team Red now as it's taken by De Silva. De Silva up the left wing side. Can't advance that any further as that puck is sent back up the boards. Played back into the middle of the ice, and that one's knocked away and forced back out through to center and all the way down inside of Team Red territory. Back on the right wing side, that puck put ahead through to center, taken over and started the other way. It's Minabariat now dropping it back off on the right side. Controlled here by Red as they'll go down below the goal line, back up the boards on the right wing side. The puck will come back out to center and worked out through to neutral territory now. Laid back along right wing side. So drop back off in the left wing corner. Now up the boards. Minabariat now will feed it to the middle. Here's Steele trying to advance his way ahead. Steele lost the handle on that. Drop back off through to center as it'll be Team Gray that will take over. They'll flush that back down inside of Team Red territory, all the way down below the goal line and back behind the net now, taken off by Red as they'll filter it back up ahead on the boards on the right side. Kim lost the handle, comes back out at center and collected up by Gray as they'll fire it back in on goal. That was McGee that did so. Work back down low. Here's Minabariat. Minabariat trying to make a play on it here as it's worked back along the left wing boards. Battle for it here along the wall and now picked up by Red and sent back ahead through center before it's fired back in from neutral territory. Played back along by Red out of their own end. Puck sent ahead through to center. Minabariat back forward inside of his own zone. And lays it back along to the left wing side. Is now out with that in the middle here as Team Red drops it back off. Here's Rositnik now that tries to make a play on it. As Rositnik unable to find that. As that's laid back along through the neutral zone. And a centering pass right in front knocked away. Back behind the goal now is Red onto it. Into the corner. Now back behind the goal. Trying to get the handle on that. There is Sutherland as they'll make the play up ahead through center and now advance back into the offensive end. Played back out through the center now as Gray make their way back ahead. Dropped off in the high slot, now holding and shooting, and that shot off a stick. Up and out of play with 11:26 to go here in the second. Draw will come back inside of Team Red territory. So 11:26 to go here in the second period. And a draw that will come to the blocker side of the Team Red net. 11:26 to go here in the second. 2-2 our score. Tight hockey game as you'd expect here in the semifinal between these two teams. Off the face-off now, that one rolled wide into the right wing corner and punched back up the left wing side before it was knocked down there and now played back behind the net. Rositnik up the boards on the right side. Bounce back out towards center. Brought back the other way here by Red as they'll work their way back into the right wing corner. Down below the goal line. Back behind the net now. Red still with it here as they'll try to work their way in before it was knocked down and played ahead on the left side by DeWall. Forced back into the right wing corner. Collision there as that puck comes back behind the net. Wrapped back around the boards on the right wing side and now played back out to center. Here comes Team Gray working in. Tidsbury holding left wing circle. Fired that one just wide. Comes back around on the right side. Thrown toward the front of the net by DeWall. That one's thrown wide of the net now as it's Keenan that tries to get onto it just inside the right point. Bouncing its way back out through to the blue line and now out to center. Collected up by Keenan as he'll start his way back in. Work back on the right wing side. Now a drop pass by Keenan. Right circle. Thorpe a shot. Steered away by the right pad of Pinch. 10:18 to go here in this second period. Puck will come free. Rifled back in from center there by Red as that's touched up off to the blocker side of the goal of Avery. Here's Camo out to center. Worked back ahead on the right side now as it's Gray that will get the handle on it. Gray tried to fire it ahead. Knocked down on the left wing now as Kim will make his way back in. Kim high slot, dangles, holds and shoots, and he tried to anyway. He fanned on the shot. Gets back behind the goal. Kim with it now as he'll try to center it back out in front. Avery punched that away as it comes loose back below the goal line. scrummed forward here along the boards and back along the left wing side. This puck is worked along the boards, now played back down below the goal line. Now Carpenter onto it. Carpenter trying to make a play on that. Comes loose back off to the left wing circle and laid back along now here for Kim. Kim in the corner, tried to make a move to get around a check. Comes loose back up to the boards on the right wing side and out through to center now. It's brought back ahead through center by Team Red. Pushed back down below the goal line now. Gathered up here in the left wing circle now by Kimmy. Tried to fire that one ahead before it was knocked down and worked back ahead on the right side. That is offside against Team Red with 9:05 to go here in period number 2. We'll have a goaltending switch here for Team Red. Jaden Avery, again, very good through the first part of this game, but he will be out now, and this is what Team Red has done all weekend long as they've switched their goaltenders, so it'll be Bryce Roach that's going to get in goal, and he's going to play for the second half of this hockey game. So Roach in net. And a face-off that'll come back out to neutral ice. Lifted ahead there by Team Gray. Forced back inside of the offensive zone now as it's carried back in. Here's a chance as going to the net, to the backhand, scores! And it's Aiden Potash, the defenseman. From his forehand to his backhand to the back of the net. 1-0, now a 3-2 lead for Team Red. A great job by Potash to get down the right side and work from his forehand to his backhand and had that shot get past the blocker side of pinch. And it's Team Red who's got back out in front again and take a 3-2 lead. They open the scoring in this hockey game. And they find their way back to a lead here in this opening period. Played ahead on the left wing side as Team Gray will work this back in, and that one's worked into the left wing corner. Down below the goal line now, that puck is jousted for on the blocker side of the goal of Bryce Roach, who's now all of a sudden working with a lead. Roach looks over his right shoulder, the battle ensuing back below the goal line as this puck comes back around to the left wing and now played back along the boards to the left side as Short will play it back along now, and it's played ahead by Potash. A lead feed out to center. Here's Steele making his way back in on the backhand. Just couldn't find his way to fire that one through. Drop back off there on the left wing side and around the boards, back up to the left point. Held on there as that's worked back down low there by Team Red and bounced back out to center where it's collected there by Short. Played to the middle. Here's Minaberia. Walks back in right circle. Minaberia tried to make his way up with that before that was knocked down. Comes back out to neutral ice and now advanced back out to center. Here's Tidsbury now making his advance in. Tried to center it back out to the middle of the ice before it was knocked down. Puck comes loose back along the left wing circle and thrown to the front of the net. And a save made there as that was Roach that was able to make that stop from the left side on Gray with 7:38 to go here in period number 2. And a 3-2 lead for Team Gray in this game. Or for Team Red, I should say, in this game. Gray again undefeated. Now one of the things you have to watch out for with Gray is the fact that they like to score in bunches and especially in the third period. Again, 7 third period goals in their last victory that came earlier this morning. Puck is won here by Team Gray as they'll force this back along to the left wing corner. Now down below the goal line and back up the wall on the right wing side. Red trying to work this puck out. It's loose along the boards and will be cleared up the wall. A secondary effort now, and that will come back out to center. Played ahead on the left wing side. Big collision there is working back in now is Neal. We've got a stoppage, and it was Team Red who was offside trying to make their way ahead with 7:17 to go here in the second period. And a 3-2 game in favor of Team Red continues on. Strada will come back along to the just outside of the blue line in the neutral zone. Here for these players that are banging on the boards. Everybody's into this one. They want to try and find their way to that final tomorrow. Played ahead by Parker, just couldn't get the feed onto it. Now it's Von den Steinen who's going to work this puck back inside the offensive zone. Puck comes loose back along the left wing side. Von Steiner tried to hold it there, picked off, and he's able to work his man off the puck as that comes back out through to center. Long stretch pass by Parker. Works it ahead on the right wing side. Here comes Tidsbury. That was knocked off stride and now taken over here by Red back inside of their own zone. Puck worked around to the left wing corner. Up the boards now for Neal. Neal trying to work his way back ahead with that. Racing after it here down to the left wing corner is Red, as this puck will come loose back along the boards, and now back out through the center comes Gray. I'll make their way ahead now. Here's Parker back in right circle, high slot, left circle, feed to the net. Nice stop by Roach. Roach with the right pad save, able to keep that one out as this puck rattles back around out through the center and laid back in deep there by McKee. Paddled for the puck down the right side. The puck is jousted for there on the right wing and thrown out toward just outside the blue line before it's laid back inside the zone. And Rezitnik now will take this the other way. The defender stripped of it at center. Under 6 to go here in the second period. And it's Team Gray that will try and fight their way back into the offensive zone down the left wing side. Here's McCrimmon to the backhand. Up high, Roach is there to make the save and hang on. So a face-off that'll take place back inside of Team Red territory. 5:47 to go here in the second period. And a 3-2 game in favor of Team Red continues on here. Draw that'll come back off to the blocker side of Roach. And off the scramble, loose in the slot, turning and firing and scoring is McCrimmon to tie the game. Team Gray ties it up. Declan McCrimmon with the shot up and over the shoulders of Roach. And just like that, Gray's back into it, and it even the score once again. Face-off will come back out at center after the goal from McCrimmon, who just got to the slot and a perfect shot up and over the blocker's shoulder of the goaltender Roach. 5:42 to go in the second period, and just like that, Team Gray has leveled the score once again at 3-3 as they'll try to counter and make their way in. Here's Carpenter now with it. Down below the goal line now as that pushed up by Frank. They'll play that puck ahead. Down to an E is Carpenter to keep this puck inside of the Team Gray zone. Puck laid along on the left wing side as that's put toward the neutral zone and laid back out now as this is played back to neutral territory on an offside. 5:18 to go here in the second period. So draw that will come back. Actually, it's going to take place all the way back outside of Team Red territory. Tight game here again, 3-3. Remember these two teams 7-6 that opened the tournament up yesterday morning. Feels like a lot more long ago than yesterday morning that they opened the tournament up with that 7-6 game, and the victory for Team Gray. Reds played them tight, and they have so far through the second period here as well. Puck back inside of the neutral zone and tipped in there by Minibarian. All the way down inside of Team Red territory as that comes back around along the boards on the left side. Back toward the front of the net, just can't find that down inside of the offensive zone. Taken over here below the goal line now by Red as it's banked off the boards, a little too hot to handle there and pass Steele, but he'll negate the icing, racing down into this puck, and the referee indicating that he is the reason that play was whistled down, so we'll have a stoppage in play now. Not really sure what the official saw there to whistle that play down. Tough one there for Red because they were able to negate that icing and have a chance to get in. Faceoff will come to the blocker side of the net of Team Gray. Faceoff will come back to the blocker's side, and off this draw now this is worked back along the boards of the left wing. 4:30 to go here in this second period. As now the other way here is Gray. Gray advancing in now. Hodgson left circle to the net, steered away by the left pad of the goaltender in Roach. Puck comes back along through the right side and back out through to center. Here's Hodgson making his way back in on the left wing now. Hodgson trying to center that pass. That's broken up and sent back to center. Long stretch pass by Neal. Can't connect there. No icing on the play. Off the indirect bank, off the end boards. Pushing that to the net was Keenan. That's stopped and the rebound played around to the corner as well. And a dangerous chance there for Team Red just goes awry. Puck back around to the left wing point. Shot by Resitnik going wide anyway, but swallowing that one up as pinch, and he'll just make the safe play to keep that on and cover it up with 3:54 to go here in the second period with a 3-3 game continuing. Face off to come back off to the blocker side of pinch. Off the face-off down, this puck forced back along out to center and carried back in through the right wing side. Tidsbury, a nice move, cuts to the net and scores! What a gorgeous goal! Up the middle of the ice, down the right side, and up and over the shoulders of Roach. Will Tidsbury, a gorgeous marker to give Gray a 4-3 lead here in the second. Just a fantastic move by Tidsbury and a terrific finish to go up and over the shoulders of the goaltender and make that a 4-3 lead in favor of Gray. So they've scored twice unanswered here in the second period and have gotten the lead back here. And once again, it's Tidsbury down the right side to the net on the backhand. This time Roach says no more and swallows that up with the glove to get a face-off back inside of Team Red territory. Great look there on the walk inside of the offensive zone by Tidsbury once again, just unable to find the back of the net after he earlier did and had a great look there that he was able to find the back of the goal line. Scramble off the draw, back behind the goal with that now is Potash. Potash works that ahead to center. Carried up the left wing side now, making his way through the middle of the ice is Short. Right circle, quick shot, scores! Low to the ice and finds its way past the blocker's side. Cohen Short knots things up. It's 4-4 here in the second. Cohen Short hasn't scored since that opening game back yesterday morning, but it was a very big factor for this Team Red. He's able to get in, make his move to the right side, and finds a shot low to the blocker side and past pinch for the marker. So 3:23 to go here in the second period, and it's a bit of a scoring frenzy in this second so far. We've had 5 goals in the second frame between the two teams and a 4-4 game here in the middle frame. 3 for Red, 2 for Gray so far here in the second period. Sent ahead, Potash across the left side, Steele bounced ahead. Here's Short trying to work in, now Steele sharp angle, tried to lift it up, and Peach is there to keep that one out as Pinch did a good job to make that stop. Worked back along the boards on the left wing side. Bouncing puck there in the left circle. Now as Minaberia tries to center a pass. Steele to the net. Great save, Pinch. He looked behind him, but he kept it out of the goal. Back to the line, a long shot that's forced away from Pinch. The rebound comes back out through to center. Red able to complete a change without getting caught with too many men on the ice in that centering feed. Just worked away from the front of the goal. Comes back across right wing side. Minaberia now on a 3-on-man rush that now is even up at back of the right circle. A shot by Steele and a glove save by Pinch. Pinch able to keep that one out on a strong save on the glove side and keep this game 4-4 with 2:20 to go here in period number 2. Face-off glove side of the net of Ethan Pinch. As Red battling back again. This game has been so back and forth. We've seen leads for Team Red, we've seen leads for Team Gray, and ultimately leads to where we think we should be right now, which is all tied up as a loose puck in the front of the goal. Pinch able to swallow that one up after that puck filtered its way toward the front of the net. And when it funneled to the crease, it was Team Red who went to try to push that one home, but Pinch there to keep that one out. Off the face-off, that puck put wide. Back around the boards on the right wing side, that comes back out through to center and carried ahead here by Team Grey. Worked in for Sherman now on the right side. Sharman, goal line, tried to center a pass that was worked off a stick. Back down below the goal line now. Sharman up top of the right wing side. Here's Johnson back for Sharman, across left wing feed. Walking in and shooting his right. That was blockered down. Right wing corner now as that puck put to the middle now. A nice move, backhand try, what a save! Roach with a phenomenal stop on the backhand, denying Sharman. Puck put around to the right wing half board now. To the line, Johnson can't hold it on, and the puck comes back out to center. 90 seconds to go here in the second period, and Team Grey back onto it inside of their own end. Johnson wheels this around. Puck comes loose back in the left wing corner. Up the boards on the left wing side, and that will bank back out to the line. Rositnik a long shot, and that's swallowed up and held by Pinch with 1:15 to go here in this second period. Face-off will come back inside of Team Grey territory here with 1:15 to go here in the second period. Face-off blocker side of Pinch. And a one draw here for Team Grey as they'll try to make their way out of their own zone. That puck out to center and now worked ahead by Camo as he'll lay it back in. 1:05 remains here in the second period. Puck comes back behind the net, and Team Grey setting up to try and break out here in the final minute of period number 2. Puck comes loose back along the left wing side, and now pushed back ahead on the left wing as out to center comes Dicerath working his way in. That's Tidbury trying to advance toward the front of the net, for that was knocked off and pushed back to the corner. Loose puck on the Red side there as they try to work out of their own zone. Puck comes loose in the right circle and now taken over as Red tries to advance their way in as that one's dumped in from neutral territory. Down below the goal line now, it's Parker around the wall to the right wing half board, now up the boards. Trying to clear that out is Red. Loose puck comes to the right side and forced back out to center, a bouncing puck that Gray will try and get onto. Final seconds here as they work in. Tidsbury with a shot, he scores! With 14 seconds to go in the second period, Will Tidsbury a big goal to finish the middle frame and give Gray a 1-goal lead. Second goal of the game for Will Tidsbury as he made his way down the left wing and found an avenue to beat Roche on the shot and make it a 5-4 Team Grey lead as this one continues on here in the second. Puck forced ahead to the middle and a shot there by Short off a stick and wide of the goal. And that one comes back off down to the right wing half board. A centering pass right in front. That's forced wide of the net. That will sound the buzzer on period number 2. And it's a late goal for Will Tidsbury off the rush underneath of Roach to make it a 5-4 Team Grey lead after 40 minutes of play. So the late goal by Tidsbury, the difference so far in this one, 5-4 in this game as we take a look at how we got there in a busy second period. 3 goals for each side. Nate Steele and Aiden Potash scored for Team Red to give them their first lead of the game before we saw Declan McCrimmon make it a 3-3 game. Will Tidsbury put Team Grey ahead before Cohen Short tied the game once again, and it was Tidsbury yet again with 14 seconds left to make it a 1-goal lead for Team Grey. Shots 28-24 for Team Grey after 40, a high-scoring affair. We'll see if that continues on here in period number 3. So a big goal late in the period for Team Grey to make it a 1-goal game. Take a look at how we got. After the game, we'll have Brown Social House Games Grit and Grind Award. Also Nick Roughton with Coldwell Banker Executives Realty. Nature's Fair Market providing the player nutrition through the weekend. The main sponsor is BioSteel. They've been around and keeping the players hydrated all weekend long. Iron Goes Construction. We'll hear more about them coming up, a platinum sponsor. Elite Prospects, Up My Hockey, the Up My Hockey Pontas goal sponsors, and A-Cane Hockey, the silver sponsor for this event. 5-4 our score after 40. Come back after this and get you set for period number 3 upcoming as we look forward to this one here from Vernon. 5-4 our score after 40. Back after this here from Vernon and Cal Tire Place North. Back here inside of Cal Tire Place North, joined by a very special guest, the owner of Iron Goes Construction, Trevor McKechnie. Trevor, first off, thanks for joining us, especially when it's Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals, so you can be doing a lot better things.
Yeah, well, when your team's not in it, you're just rooting for your country at this point.
I guess so.
Yeah.
You know, Iron Goes Construction is such a big part of this tournament. First off, I'm interested to know, what made you want to get a part of something like this and be a part of this? Obviously, Jason Padolin's someone who I'm sure you have a very good relationship with, but what kind of made you want to get involved with that?
Yeah, well, we like to help out in minor sports within the entire region of the Okanagan. So we're involved with minor hockey, minor football, big supporters of lacrosse, baseball, and you know, it's something we like to put our donations towards, I guess. And then Jason does such a great job with everything, and he puts his name on. That's one of our mottos of our company, is quality with a reputation. So, you know, linking up with Jason and something that he's putting on and doing a very good job at running, we thought that, you know, what a better partnership than to help him out with some scholarships, that he could bring in some good talent and showcase that here on home ice. So.
You talk about minor sports, and I see your son here as well. Did that kind of play a factor into it too when you're a dad and you kind of go through and knowing about, you know, your son going up and wanting to look and play different sports? Does that kind of play a factor into it for you too?
Yeah, it definitely does, right? You know, like to, you know, live vicariously through them, I guess. You know, when we were younger and going through those ages, and you know, didn't always have the same things they're getting now at the younger ages, almost getting treated like pros at a very young age. You know, it's cool to see. So, you know, obviously when you have kids and they're getting treated properly in minor sports, and takes up a lot of their time, as we all know, keeps them busy and occupied. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat.
You talk about the community and the community of Vernon, obviously, you know, it was a great spot in the Okanagan. The Okanagan's a great spot in general to be a part of, so it makes it easy to come out and do this kind of thing. And for yourself, you know, in these businesses, the local businesses, it must feel pretty good to be out in the community and obviously have your face out there as well, especially when it comes to something like this.
Yeah, you bet. It's nice. You know, we haven't done a lot of work locally in a long time. You know, we're very industrial, so we do a lot of oil and gas. We do agricultural with, you know, canola plants out in the you know, Saskatchewan and Alberta, eastern Alberta, and we also do we're into forestry too. So you know, a lot of our local work will be involved with the forestry, with the sawmill industry and things like that. But yeah, it's nice to put your name into something local and watch it grow.
And just adding on to that, I'm sure, you know, you get a chance to watch some of this hockey now. What do you think about some of these young kids out here?
It's wild.
You talk about your son, and obviously these guys that are treated like pros, they're playing like pros sometimes out there.
It's fascinating to watch how advanced they get from one year to the next. You know, like I remember watching about 4 or 5 years ago when my nephew came through the ranks, and you know what kids can do now at that age today. They're developing, you know, and advancing so fast. It's cool to watch for sure.
So lastly now, you know, you're looking at this game, it's a 5-4 game, a lot of goals, it's an exciting one to be a part of, but you know, for Iron Coast, is this something that you could see even growing more in the future as well? Not just this tournament, but obviously your relationship with the tournament as well. It seems like it's going hand in hand quite well. Construction and hockey's always gone hand in hand, I think.
Yeah, and you know, it's just something that I didn't really see myself doing as a young kid, but it's just the way that the tables went, and I just, you know, had a really strong work ethic from a young age, and went into sports therapy and then paramedicine after that, and then, you know, family started, and you know, got a good opportunity, and then just kind of ran with it. And you know, we were very fortunate. We got a couple good breaks, capitalized on some good opportunities, and here we are. So if we grow, then the community will benefit from it around us.
Well, we appreciate your support as always. Thank you so much.
Bet.
It's been a big part of it, I know, over the course of the years, especially here this year as well. So excited to have you on, and excited to have you here as well. Thanks for coming on and doing Welcome back inside of Cal Tire Place North here in Vernon. Trevor Miller here with you as it is Team Red versus Team Gray. 5-4 the score in favor of Team Gray after 40 minutes of play as we get set for period number 3, and Team Red looking for their first win of the weekend, trying to get to the final tomorrow. Team Gray were a perfect 3-0 over the course of the weekend so far up to this point, and we'll look to try and get there as this game moves along and try to get to the final here as this game moves along. Gray left to right on your computer screens. Left to right will go red as we get underway for period number 3 here from Vernon, as it is a 1-goal game here to period number 3 here from Cal Tire Place North, and that puck right in on goal. Just 8 seconds in to this third period, and a face-off that'll come back inside of the Team Gray end as we'll get a draw that will come to the left of Ethan Pinch, who's been in for the whole game. It has been the opposite story for Bryce Roach, who's come on in that second period as Team Red has switched their goaltenders out halfway through each of the games so far, and they continue to do so here today. And now a lead feed. Here's Hayden Carpenter in alone to the backhand. He scores! And just like that, it's Team Gray who jumps ahead by a pair just 16 seconds into period 3. Hayden Carpenter finds the back of the net on a breakaway rush on the backhand. It's 6-4. So Hayden Carpenter able to get that lead feed, make his way to the net on the backhand, and finish off on the glove side of Roach. And the 6-4 advantage, and now Gray back in again. Here's Theodore Kim trying to get to the front of the net. He was asking for a call for the officials. He was thinking he was hooked up. Big collision on the end boards. This puck comes around. Here's Kim once more. So remember, Gray scored 7 goals in the third period earlier today. They've already got 1 in 16 seconds here today. Puck laid back ahead and out to center. All the way down inside of Team Gray territory, down low. And this puck comes back into the right wing corner. Trying to throw that back toward the front of the net as that's knocked off and played along here by Carpenter as it's played back ahead to center here by Gray. They'll make their way back in. Back down to the left wing corner. Back down below the goal line, and now back behind the net. It's Red that will get to it as they'll try to make their way out from their own zone. Bounce back out to center. Rifled back in here by Gray. And now this puck comes loose and back in front of the net, and that was forced away as this bouncing puck comes to the left circle and now picked up and played back out to center here, where it's worked back ahead by Potash as he'll work his way back in. Down the left wing side, Parker cuts to the net. Loose puck right in front, fired just wide. Close call there for Team Gray of taking a 3-goal lead as they're back in again, and a feed along left wing side. Von Steinen threw that toward the front of the goal. That was knocked away. Puck comes loose back out in front, and now Team Red will take over as they try to advance their way back in. Puck Lloyd along the right wing side. Bounce back down by Parker. Pushed back down along the left wing. As this puck will come loose back in the middle, now taken over here by Red as they'll make their advance up ice. Red trying to advance their way back inside the zone down below the goal line and wrap back around the boards on the right side and taken back over here as it's pushed back out to center now by Gray. They'll make their way back in on a stretch play down on the right side. That stopped. Rebound loose in front. Cleared away from the front of the goal. Bounce back out through to center and all the way back down inside of Team Gray territory. Drop back ahead through the middle of the ice now by Gray. They'll make their way in, but offside as they do so inside of the offensive zone. So 17:21 to go here in period number 3. And a 6-4 game remains in favor of Team Gray. Face-off will come back out to center. And off the draw now, it's Team Red trying to bust their way ahead, looking to try and get back into this game. Puck's worked back out to center and forced back along the right wing side and carried back in by Short. A centering feed went off a body. Loose puck in front. Put to the net save. And a rebound fired just wide. Bounced wide of the goal on the blocker side of Pinch as well. Not a bad play by Short to just throw that puck in front and just try and get that puck toward the front of the goal. Now taken along here by Team Red as they'll work it back in. That was Minibariat that got it in deep. Down low below the goal line now is Short. Short comes up the right side, still with it now in the right circle. Now for Potash, thrown wide of the net. That's back down below the goal line now as Gray onto it. Wrapped around to the left wing corner now as back onto it. Here is Red. Potash back in the line, threw it to the net. The save made and the rebound put on as well. And that's another good stop made there as that came off the stick of Pinch. Back across to the middle and now it's punched out through to center. Potash back onto it here in neutral ice. Gonna work that puck ahead as it's laid back in here by Team Red and put to the goal by Short. That was just fired off the blocker of Pinch. Brought back the other way by Gray. They'll advance their way back in. Cuts to the high slot. Now working to the left circle. A shot by Kim. Bounced down in front. Right in the slot. It's cleared away back to the right wing. And now taken on here by Gray. Kim tried to make his way ahead with that. Knocked down just inside the line. Theodore Kim back onto it now as he cuts to the slot. Trying to work his way loose to the right circle. And try to get it across to the back door. That was broken up and sent back out through the left wing. Gray trying to find the handle onto it here as it's Red that tries to push it out of their own end. 5.5 gone here in period number 3. Battle for it here in the left wing corner. And that puck comes right back out in front and Roach there to hang on and get a face-off now back inside of his own zone with 15:20 to go here in this third period, and a 6-4 game in favor of Team Gray remains. The early goal by Gray here in this period, that's put them ahead by a pair. Puck will be dropped off to the blocker's side of the goal of Roach off the face-off. This comes back up the board to the left wing side as Black trying to find it. Back down below the goal line now as it's pushed up ahead by Red as they'll get it out through to center and bounce back out to neutral territory. Here's right back with it. Right around the boards on the right wing side, and now Team Gray back onto it. We'll take it out through to center. Team Gray working in. Here's Jake Black down with it. Black to the side of the net. Centering pass. Oh, what a goal. No, they say it didn't go in. Oh, that looked like that hit the back bar. A fantastic move as it was Black that set up in the corner for Johnson, and he went back door to try and find his man going to the goal. That could be the hat trick goal for Tidsbury. That puck definitely looked like it went in, and that's a good goal. So Will Tidsbury has the hat trick on a backdoor pass that he rifled toward the net. And a 7-4 lead for Team Red with 14:44 to go here in the third. What a terrific passing play that was to finish that play off. As Potash will get this inside of the Team Gray end, and back the other way comes Cooper DeWall. DeWall now with it across the line. High slot, Black holding. Tried to throw it back to the middle before that was broken up, and a lead feed knocked down by Vanden Steinen and brought back the other way out through center as DeWall will get back to it here and he'll make his way out through the center. DeWall working his way back in. Across the line for Gray into the high slot. A shot by Tidsbury. Knocked down by the right pad of Roach. Long stretch pass ahead. Here comes Steele carrying in. He scores! Steele in the right wing circle with a great shot up and over the blocker's side of Pinch. And with just under 6 gone here in the third, it's a 7-5 game for Gray. Nate Steele with a gorgeous shot down the rush on the right wing side. Able to put it up and over the blocker's side of Pinch. As Team Gray will work it back along the left wing side and get out to center. Work back in deep there, as that was Rasul Yankovic that played it back in. Down below the goal line. And back out to center. Rasul Yankovic now will take this over and neutral ice for Gray. Bring it along, now back out to center. Here's Hodgson to make his way ahead. Hodgson works down the left wing side, cuts in left circle to the net. Just steered away from the front of the goal. Forced back ahead through to center and all the way down inside of Team Gray territory as McGee is back onto it now. Back inside of his own zone is McGee. Gonna pop it over on the right wing side. That puck comes loose back along the left wing. Sharman will carry it back in here for Gray. Sharman, a centering feed right in front. That went through the slot and pushed back ahead by Red. Back out through to center. Carried ahead through the neutral zone here is Red as they'll get this puck back in on the left side. Thorpe now makes the play up the left wing and back out through to center before it's played ahead by Gray and worked back in on the right wing side. Now dragging to the outside to the backhand, back behind the net, and just couldn't get that feed back out in front. Red back onto it now. Thorpe, a lead feed. Down the left side is Sumner. Sumner works wide, cuts to the net. That stop made by Pinch. Great stop there by Pinch as he tried to make his way toward the front of the net. Now taken over the other way. Here comes McCrimmon down the left wing side. McCrimmon to the net. Off a stick as that puck worked off the boards and out through to center and made his way back out to neutral ice. Carried back in now into the high slot, holding and shooting. That was a hard shot put just wide. Off the rush by Nathan Johnson. Played ahead by Red to center. Here's McCrimmon back onto it now on the right side as he'll dump this puck in deep. Down below the goal line. Played back along to the left wing point and a shot by Wright toward the front of the net. Roach will hang on and cover that one up with 11:56 to go here in the third, and 7-5 the score in favor of Team Red. Or in favor of Team Gray, I should say, as the faceoff will come back inside of the Team Red zone. Long shot from the line, and Roach able to swallow that one up and hang on for a face-off with 11:52 to go here in the third. Another face-off that'll come to the blocker side of the goal of Roach as that puck is laid back down inside of Team Red territory. So Red back forward inside of their own end. 11:40 to go here in the third period. This puck comes back out through to center. Back at center, it's laid back in by Red. And back below the goal line with that now is Team Gray as they'll wait for it back behind their goal. And up the boards to the right wing side and now taken back ahead on the left wing now by Carpenter. Carpenter trying to make his way ahead down below the goal line. Hayden Carpenter. And a goal here in the third period to get Team Gray up by, well, at that point was 2, and things have happened a lot since then as this puck down below the goal line. Now it's Kim. Kim onto it here as they'll work back across on the right wing side. Puck will come loose toward the front of the goal, and a save made there by Roach on the one-time try for the right side as a face-off back inside of the red zone. 10:54 to go here in the third. 7-5 the score in favor of Team Gray. Long shot toward the net. Roach again makes a save. So another draw to the left of Roach's. That one's taken in, and it's going to be Red that's going to try and come up with the puck. That comes back around the boards on the right wing side and now forced back along to the left wing. Blondin Steinen going to make that pass ahead and bounced up over the stick of Neal and back down inside of Gray territory. Parker around the wall, picked off there on the left wing side. Red trying to work their way back in. Broken up and started the other way here for Gray. Long stretch pass out towards center, and it's deflected back in by Black into the corner. Puck centered toward the front of the goal that went off the back hand of the stick of Roach. Played along here by Red as they'll bank it up through the center, and now raced onto here by Potash. He'll work his way in. Potash, sharp angle, threw it toward the front of the net. Steered away on the right wing side by the goaltender in pinch. Brought back the other way. Here's Black. Carries back and across the line. Now for Tidsbury, lurking in with a shot. Low and wide of the goal to the glove side. Comes back across on the left wing side and along the half board now. It's stopping up there is Tidsbury. A hat trick so far here in the semi-final game. And a sharp angled shot there by off the left wing corner that was stopped by Roach. Rebound comes back behind the net and now taken over by Red as they'll advance out through to center. Work back ahead. Up with that on the left wing side. It's Thorpe on the left wing and then thrown back in deep. Down below the goal line. Now it's Thorpe. Back behind the net now for Red. Work back into the right wing corner and down below the goal line now. It's played back out in front and trying to get toward the front of the net there on that was Keenan before it's wrapped up and out of play by Team Gray. So 9:12 to go here in this third period, and it's a 7-5 game in favor of Team Gray. So a face-off that'll come to the glove side of the Team Gray net. Off the face-off now, it's Sutherland that will take this at the right point, threw it toward the front of the net. That went off a body loose. Puck comes to the side of the goal and work just wide of the net. There's this puck will be worked back behind the net. And work that puck free on the left wing side now. It's taken over here by Gray and a stretch play back out through to center. That was knocked down. Banked ahead there on the left wing side and now back out through to neutral territory and outside of the Gray zone. Here's Sumner making his way back ahead. Sumner right circle to the net. Steered away by the Gray netminder in the way of pinch. 8.5 to go here in the third. Brought ahead on the right side. Here's as Dicemouth will bring this back in. He tried to center it back out in front and now taken over here by Red as they'll work their way back out with that. Dicemouth tried to make his way back up the middle and now collected up there and played ahead by Sharman. Sharman works this puck in deep now. Played up the boards on the right side and that will go for an offside and face-off that'll come back out to center with 8:15 to go here in period 3. And I think we're going to get coincidental penalties on the play to both Harry Sharman and Chase Da Silva. So it'll be coincidental penalties and a 5-on-5 situation upcoming and a face-off back out to neutral ice with 8:15 to go here in the third. Off the face-off now, it's Red that will send this puck ahead and out toward the middle of the ice now as it's taken there and pushed ahead by Short. Laid ahead now back inside of Team Gray territory, down below the goal line. Slipping up there and falling as Johnson. Puck comes loose back in front of pad saved by Pinch. Taken on here by Granger with a long try toward the front of the net. Bouncing puck pushed back to the middle and up with that now. Laying that ahead to center is the strong play there of Kim, but brought back the other way by Short. Down the right wing side, Short working in right circle. Tried to throw it back toward the front of the goal. Back behind the net now. It's taken by Gray as they'll work it back ahead on the left side and out through center. Now they'll make their way into the offensive zone. Collision there along the right wing side as it's pushed back to the middle and gathered up here by Team Red as they'll try to make their advance out to neutral ice. Taken over here by McCrimmon. Drop back off for Parker. Parker on the left wing side gives it back across to the right wing side and now taken over here by Gray as they'll try to advance their way out with it. Turned it over. Here's a chance for Minibarian who walks back into the right circle. Minibarian a cross ice pass that was broken up and taken back the other way here by Gray. Long stretch play ahead on the left wing side. Kim a nice move to the outside. Cuts his way in left circle with a shot off a stick as it's floated up and over the goal. So 6:57 remains here in this third period. 7-5 the score remains in favor of Team Gray here in this semifinal. Face off to come to the blocker side of the goal of Roach, and puck comes back out to the blue line and laid back inside of Team Red territory. back ahead through to center and worked to the head on the left wing side now for Neal. Neal tried to find the handle on that. Now he gets it back again and carries his way in across the line. Neal left circle, drop pass, comes loose there for Thorpe. Thorpe takes a check and works that puck down to the goal line. Got it back again from behind the net. Worked off the puck, but cycling on, trying to find the handle on that is Keenan before it's pushed ahead on the right side and worked back out to center here for Team Gray, but that puck advanced back off the boards out to center. Gray back onto it. Here's Tidsbury, the hat trick marker for him, and he'll work back in again in a centering attempt that was knocked off a stick and worked back along through the middle of the ice now as it's taken over here by Red, and they'll try to work their way back into the offensive zone. 6 minutes to go here in the third. Potash tried to advance his way in. Down to the corner. Big collision there on the right wing half boards as everybody comes together here trying to find this loose puck. Still a battle for it there in the corner. Before it's pushed up the wall on the right wing side as Red will hold it on. Now is Keenan in the right circle, and a big collision there. Knocked the helmet off of the Team Gray forward as it's brought back in by Tidsbury and tried to make a play ahead as Cooper DeWall lost his helmet on that collision that he had. Comes loose back in the right wing corner. Now loose in the left wing circle. Here is Team Gray back to the line. A long shot fired wide of the goal. Back across the left wing is turning back onto that. Back below the goal line now is Gray. Back behind the net. Gray still working now with it. Back to the line. Rasul Yankovic back across. Thrown toward the front of the goal. That neat little redirection in the slot by Hodgson denied off the pad of Roach. 5 minutes to go here in the third period. Carried back ahead, turned over. Here's Hodgson holding, shooting in the slot, and a save by Roach, and he'll hang on to cover that one up. Second period now, or the third period with 4:52 remaining in it. The face-off double come back to the glove side of the goal of Roach. Another face-off to come to the left side of Roach with under 5 to go here in the third. Gray onto the puck and a long shot by McKee. Fires it wide of the goal. Back along with it out through to center. Bouncing puck there as it's Rasul Yankovic that played it back out to center. Here's Sumner. Sumner works his way back in on the left wing side. Forced back along the left wing half board and now dropped down below the goal line. Back below the goal line, back behind the net. Around the boards on the right side. Back down below the goal line. Taken along here by Red and dropped back down below the goal line now behind the net. It's worked back around into the corner. Sent back up the boards on the right side. Couldn't get to Sutherland and now taken along here by Sharman. Sharman's lead feed up the right wing and pushed back in there by Gray. 4 minutes to go now in the third period. Here's Rositnik back out of his own zone. Long stretch pass, nicely knocked down at center by McGee. Threw it back ahead on the right side and now carried back in by Kim. Kim to the high slot and tried to connect there, looking for a man in the middle, and Sharman before it was knocked down. Loose puck comes to the right wing circle. Onto it is McGee. McGee drops it back off right wing side. Now down below the goal line here is Sharman. Sharman tied up there on the end boards. That puck comes loose back up to the line. Holding, shooting is McGee, and a glove save made by the goaltender in Roach as he'll hang on for a face-off with 3:35 to go here in the third period. 7-5 the score for Team Gray. Face-off back off to the left side of the goal of Roach. Off the draw, scrambled in the circle as this one's worked back along the boards on the right wing side and now banked ahead, and Team Red trying to advance their way out of their own zone before that puck comes back to the middle and played back out to neutral ice where it's carried ahead by Short. Short down the right wing, cuts his way in down to the goal line and swept away from the front of the net. Back along with that, and a long try toward the front of the goal, redirected wide as Team Red looking to try and find their way to the late couple of goals here in the third period. Down low, it's Kim back behind the net. Kim works his way out to the glove side. Now forced along left wing and out through to center. Nice move there by Carpenter. Carpenter tried to play it out ahead on the right wing. Played back inside the line, and empty net here for Team Red as Gray throws it toward the empty goal. Loose puck there right in front. Somehow that just skittered wide. wrapped around the boards all the way down ice. That will travel. No icing on the play as this puck back inside of Team Gray territory. So Red still with the net empty and sending it long toward the empty goal. Just misfiring there is Johnson. That will go for an icing. .235 to go here in the third period. Tyler Shannock, the Red head coach, putting his goaltender and having a chance here for Team Red to try and get themselves an opportunity to try and find 2 late goals here in the third. Face off to come to the blocker side of the Team Gray goal. And a timeout called here for Team Red. So 2:35 remaining here in the third period. Team Red's called a timeout to try and get themselves a couple of late goals here. We have seen late goals so far throughout the course of this tournament, so never know what can happen here as this late stage of this game continues on. Face-off that will come back inside of the Team Gray zone. Draw that will come to the blocker side of the goal of Pinch. With 2:35 to go here in period number 3. Face off to the blocker side of the goal of Pinch. Off the draw now, it's picked up here by Potash of the line. Works it along now for Red, back to the blue line and back out through to center. Taken over here into the middle of the ice. There's Tidsbury with a shot that went wide of the goal, bidding for his 4th of the game. Brought ahead by Red as they'll make their way up ice now. Nice move as Short carries back in down the right side. Short to the net and he couldn't fire up. Looking to go up and over the left side of the goal of Pinch. Now Tidsbury back into the middle, across the line. He fires into the empty net. Will Tidsbury his 4th goal of the game with 2:03 to go here in the third and makes it an 8-5 game. And it's Tidsbury who gets his 4th goal of the game. This one into the empty net and has pushed the lead to 3 here for Team Gray. Parker back forward inside of his own zone. 2 minutes to go now in period number 3. Laid back inside of the Team Red end. Sutherland back across the left side and bounce back out through the center. Worked back along the right wing here by Gray. And a big collision there is Thorpe with a big check. Puck comes back along to the right wing corner, and up with that now is Red back behind their goal with 1:35 to go here in the third period. Sumner back to the middle. Forced back loose in the left wing corner. Played back down below the goal line. Here's Thorpe from a sharp angle, threw it on, and a save made there. Has a good stop off the left wing feed there by Pinch as it's brought back in here by Gray. Here's Parker to the net. He fired that one wide. Puck comes loose back along the right side and back out to center as McGee will pump that back inside of Team Red territory. 1:05 to go here in the third period. 8-5 the score in favor of Team Gray. Here's Red back with it inside of their own zone. There's Zitnik back inside of his own end. Out to center and played back right in front of the Gray bench. Final minute of play here in period number 3. Puck laid back ahead and worked back along the right wing side. Here is Red trying to advance their way in. Big collision there at center. As this puck will come loose on the left wing side as Red will advance their way back in. Here's Short working his way to the middle. Loose puck in front, put to the net. Pinch the save, the rebound, scores. No goal is going to be called here as they say the puck was kicked in front. Red looked like they had found their way to a goal there, but it was De Silva who kicked the puck in the crease with 30 seconds to go here in the third period. looks like it'll be Team Gray who's going to make their way off to the final here of this UMH-68 BC Invitational. Puck laid back inside of Team Red territory. 20 seconds remains here in the third period. Puck back ahead on the right wing side. It now worked back into the right corner below the goal line. And big collision on the end boards. A penalty upcoming here with 14 seconds to go. And a head contact penalty coming up here to Team Red. So Gray will finish the game on the power play with 14 seconds to go here in the third period. The draw that will come to the blocker side. Puck worked loose along the wall, and we're going to get some rough stuff coming up here after that play is whistled down. 9 seconds to go here in the third period. Just looking to try to finish this one off here. It's going to be Frank that's going to go off for the penalty, and Gray will finish on a 5-on-3 here to end this game with 9 seconds to go here in the third period. So face off to the blocker side of Roche. The draw, this puck pushed to the line. Gray will hold it on there. Push to the middle now to the right side. 5 seconds to go here in the third. Left wing holding, shooting is Carpenter. That one stopped, and that'll do it. This one's over. It's Team Gray that wins it by an 8-5 final, and they will head to the final. Tomorrow afternoon, as we have bodies coming together in the corner. And now looks like everybody will dissipate here. And cooler heads will hopefully prevail out of this. As it's Team Gray that comes away with an 8-5 win here in the final and in the semifinal to move on to the final. And it's Gray that comes away victorious here in this one, and Team Red will play for the bronze medal coming up tomorrow at 8:30, while it's Gray who will play for gold tomorrow at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we'll get our player of the game. Grit and Grind Award presented by Brown Social House. The 3 stars brought to you by Nick Roughton with Coldwell Executive Realty, as we get that presentation coming up at center ice now. For Team Gray, number 17, Hayden Carpenter is the Grit and Grind Award winner.
Congratulations, Hayden. And a 5-star selection made tonight by Trevor McKechnie of Iron Coast Construction. Our third star of the hockey game from Team Red, number 12, Nate Steele.
Third star of the game will be Nate Steele for Team Red. Scored a goal in this game, did Steele.
And our sponsor, Road of Gold Maker Executive Realty. Our second star, also from Team Red, receiving a $40 gift card to Sourcewell Sports. Number 4, Aiden Potash.
Aiden Potash is your second star of the game.
And our first star will be number 4.
prize here. It'll be Will Tidsbury who gets the first star with his 4-goal performance in this hockey game. And it's Team Gray that wins it 8-4. So Gray comes away victorious, 8-4 the final. Team Red will play for bronze. Who will they play? We'll find out after this, as it's black and blue in the final semifinal and the final game of this Saturday. We hope you join us for that here from Vernon. This has been the UMH-68 BC Invitational here from Cal Tire Place North. here inside of Cal Tire Place North, joined by a very special guest, the owner of Iron Ghost Construction, Trevor McKechnie. Trevor, first off, thanks for joining us, especially when it's Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals, so you can be doing a lot better things.
Yeah, well, when your team's not in it, you're just rooting for your country at this point.
I guess so.
Yeah.
You know, Iron Ghost Construction is such a big part of this tournament. First off, I'm interested to know, what made you want to get a part of something like this and be a part of this? Obviously, Jason Padolin's someone who I'm sure you have a very good relationship with, but what kind of made you want to get involved with that?
Yeah, well, we like to help out in minor sports within the entire region of the Okanagan. So we're involved with minor hockey, minor football, big supporters of lacrosse, baseball, and you know, it's something we like to put our donations towards, I guess. And then Jason does such a great job with it.